Hello, children. We're going to talk about one of my most detested group of people out there ever, and that is counselors, therapists, and psychologists. There are some legitimate good ones, but like teachers, most of them are scumbag pieces of shit. And what I love about psychologists and therapists and counselors is they themselves are pretty fucked in the head, and they're pretty much losers. And it's like a Democrat talking to you. Although with Republicans, Trump bucks, I was about to say it's like Democrats talking about good fiscal finances, but I can't make that joke no more. Oh, so let's go. This is a long one. Hi, Aaron. Would love a video. 24-year-old psychology graduate here. In my life, I've gone through hardcore drug addiction and the suicide of my brother and best friend during high school. Dealing with these experiences have matured me drastically. So when I went to college, I thought studying psychology. That always happens. I'm fucked up. My life is fucked up. People around me are fucked up. I'm going to study why I'm fucked up. You came from a bad background. You're fucked up. And studying why you're fucked up is not going to help you get employment. Matter of fact, it's just going to fuck you up some more. Matter of fact, the fact that you're fucked up means you probably shouldn't help people who are fucked up unfuck up them lives. Because you probably aren't going to help them unfuck up their lives because you're fucked up. It's my dream to be a child psychologist. One day, becoming a counselor to help others going through tough shit would be a good use of my life. All right. And you know what? That's noble. I get it, man. I get it. Do you know the path to a good and stable life? Are you living a successful life? This is why I always say, don't trust a counselor unless it's the grizzled old pissed off Vietnam vet. Because the vast majority of them are 17-year-olds. 17-year-old, how could you guys get this? This is how most psychologists are formed. They start out as 17-year-old, predominantly girls, but some guys do too. I think I don't like math. I mean, I want to help people. I just like to, think and kind of. And then at 23 or 24, 25, they graduate their masters. And they have no life experience. And they're going to tell other people how to live their lives when they don't even fucking support themselves. They're not adults. They've been forever students, never interacting with other people in a real world. So until you make the path, you achieve the journey, you go from zero to hero, and you say, oh, this is why I can write books on finance, because I was poor and now I ain't. And I didn't have help from my parents or the government, so I know the path. Here's what you do. Don't do what I did there. And if you follow this, you're not, at minimum, you'll be as good as me. You'll probably be better and years ahead of me. I walked the path. What the vast majority of people who have mental issues or think they should become psychologists or therapists or counselors because they had fucked up lives. And what you're trying to do is say, oh, I'm going to lead you to Disneyland without a map, having never been there and no Google Maps. I think I should do that. You've never been there. You don't know what stability, happiness, contentment, I don't really believe in it, and mental health is. Don't try and convince people you know the way or try to help them out. Until you get your mental health together, stop fucking ruining and hurting other people. Okay? And so that's probably one of my main complaints. It is one of my main complaints about most psychologists and therapists and counselors. There's a suburb school in the suburb somewhere with a girl with really pretty blonde hair. She's a psychopath and an alcoholic, but guess what, buddy? You got a bick. She's the school psychologist. She's a therapist and she's fucked in the head. She's the school psychologist, and she's getting inside your children's head. That was totally made up all by me, by the way. There is. I know one. She's a fucking mental wreck. And she's a therapist helping out the childrens because we can't, nothing too good for the childrens. Of course. I got a job out of college with my bachelor's degree, making $20,000 a year working in a teen rehab. Oh, how are they doing? Are they all good now? Good thing you're there. My boss made promises that he was hoping to bump my salary to $27,000 whole dollars. Wow, that's $13 an hour. I know 14-year-old girls who make more than that babysitting without a degree. Soon they could afford it, but dumb me waits an entire year before my boss has another conversation saying they'll only be able to give me a 2% raise. Safe to say I was out of there after that conversation. Good for you. You may be shocked to find this out. Lazy fucks who major in the liberal arts and psychology and are in the therapy, help, touchy-feely world are pretty much all lazy scumbag parasites who just don't want to work for a living. That's what it is. And the reason there's no money around is they have to constantly panhandle for other people's money, be it the taxpayer or nonprofit. So why don't you just go program or learn a really good skill where people are throwing for, here, patch up my heart, $500 an hour, fix my roof, $50 an hour. I want to help that child once. You and a billion other fucking broads graduating every fucking year with your child therapy, education, child development degree. I conclude that if I don't pull the gun on a master's degree and get licensed as a counselor, then I will never be able to make money in the mental health industry. Yeah, you need to get a doctorate is what I'd say, pal. I think the master's degree only allows you to work for other therapy, and the pay is shit too, by the way. You might make $45,000 a year. My hesitation currently, though, is how people will perceive me if I become a counselor at such a young age. They're not going to care. What, dude, the millions of people graduating with their master's in psychology are all in their younger 20s. There's no one, the world is not going to perceive you any worse than anything else. My plan would be to join the National Guard. Good. For its benefits until I can open up a private practice of my own, probably around when I'm 30. I love to study business strategy and operation. No, those aren't things. There's no such thing as business strategy or operations. You open up a shop. It's all logical and common sense. What you need to learn is accounting, my fine young sir. Did you know that if you spend money on advertising, sales go up? I'm glad I read an 800-page book to figure that out. So I'm confident I'll be able to thrive in that function. The reason you would open up a private practice and thrive is because you have a doctorate and you're marketing yourself well. You knowing business is not going to make you thrive. Common sense, yes. Accounting, yes. Having a skill people are throwing money at, yes. I know how to differentiate the bullshit psychology and always keep my advice solid with any of the clients I work with. When I worked at the rehab, I helped those kids more than the counselors ever did because I was approachable and been through the experience that could relate to change. That I believe. I'm not saying your situation is bad. It's going to absolutely help out. And you will cut through the bullshit. That's good, right? But you get Tina, the prissy lily white suburbanite princess who had everything shoved up her ass, including Tyrone's cock. Oh. With money and no real problems. Like, oh my gosh, I have anxiety. I have bipolar. Oh, it was so tough. You actually have seen suicide. You have gone through real depression. You've been there. So that is definitely, and you don't have time for the bullshit. And this would probably be the best thing for you to do is what I do here at SO Consulting. Cut through the bullshit, deliver the straight facts. Right? If you're just truthful, that could be your advertising. That could be your niche. You're not going to have a lot of female clients, but you're like, hey, you want your problems fucking solved? Well, come talk to me. Yeah, we don't do the touchy-feely, oh, where's your mother? How you doing? How you feel? What do you think about that? Tell me what this Rorschach test. No, we don't do that fucking bullshit. You want drugs? Get the fuck off drugs. That'll be $80 an hour, please. The ultimate question I'm asking is, do you think counseling is a waste of time, or do I get a seal of approval for Uncle Cappy? If the short, let's go through the rest of it. I'm not opposed to other careers, but want to take your take on this first. Today, my psychology degree has now helped me get a job at a manufacturing plant at $12 an hour. This has all been an eye-opening experience, and I hate it where I am. Okay, here's the thing, dude. It's just basic labor economics. You need to get a doctorate, okay? The master's people, because the market's flooded, you'll go be the part-time counselor for $20 an hour and maybe some insurance at the local school. You might go work at some, insurance paid for therapy office. You're not going to make that much with a master's. Okay. Now, if you got a master's, you get your license. It depends on the state, but I think you got to go get your PhD. Then your doctor so-and-so, you can open up your own fucking clinic. It's going to be a long haul, but if you're not up for it until you're 30, you got all the time in the world. If you really want to, fine. Okay. And what I'd do is I'd start studying and researching all the different psychologists. Is it worth it? Because, man, I'll tell you this, even though I'm no therapist, asshole consulting, man, some of the requests I get take a fucking mental toll. I can only imagine what it's like talking about the people who like suffered PTSD or saw his buddy get blown up in war, suicide, the truly depressing shit. So I can only imagine that. Then you throw on another request. I'm going to really skip through. So yeah, if you want to become a psychologist, sure. But you got to get a PhD. Otherwise, you know what, man? If you don't want to get married, don't have kids, join the military, drive truck, do something fucking simple. Become a tradesman. Not that it's that simple, but it's a lot less schooling than a PhD in psychology. And keep in mind this about psychology, okay? Maybe you'll be the one. And if you do go to psychology, this is all I behoove of you, I ask of you. Be the one that actually solves a fucking problem. Not all these fucking dipshits out there who never solve fucking problems. They just treat it. Now, a lot of that is because I don't believe psychology is a legitimate profession. It studies more recently, 2/3 of them, the studies can't be repeated. I don't see anyone getting better. When I wrote this book here, How Not to Become a Millennial, the psychology part of it anyway, the success rates are absolutely abysmal. Therapists themselves, when you look at them, are fucked in the head. Maybe you become the one true psychologist that actually solves people's problems. And instead of, male toxicity, $300, please. Here's some drugs. And you don't solve the problem like, no, your kid doesn't have mental illness. He just has fucked up parents. Where's his dad? Oh my God, if you were that therapist, if you were that counselor, single mom goes, my child's acting that. Well, where's the dad? Oh, he's a dickhead. Well, that's why your kid's acting up. $250, please. Go find his dad. Yeah. You'd have to get payment up front. You have to have a lot of big legal disclaimer. You could do it. But let's be very clear. You're not going into a real profession. You're going into something that's about as valid as witchcraft or astrology. Okay. Yes, neurochemistry has it. Yes, the likes of Jordan Peterson. Yes, there are some studies that are legit. But for the most, where's your mother? Look at this Rorschach test. I have a PhD. All right, Aaron Money sent long response. I have another question that paid you extra. Feel free to do that. Bring your A game. Just to clarify, the field of counseling is separate from psychology. Oh, okay. I'm a financial planner, not a financial advisor. Chose to tell you psychology at school because I fell for the meme that psychology will help you with people. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, average mental health counselor makes $42,000 while the bomb makes $26,000. Yeah. It makes top 10% makes $77,000. In the field of psychology, though, if I got my PhD, I could become a licensed as a psychologist. Statistics on these guys make it $80,000 per year on average. Yes. Lowest makes $43,000. You want to become Dr. Emil Schofhausen of the Schofhausen Institute. Highest above $129,000. That's a lot of school, which I could grind out, but I need a decent plus flexible job in the meantime. So staying going through that much school. Yes. Yeah, it's going to suck. Yeah. Tell me about it. Really? Going to school and working sucks, huh? Boy, I wish there was a solution aside from doing both at the same time really hard and going without sleep. The only real advantage of the PhD route is the esteem of the title. No, there's a lot more money with it. Research aspect, which I guess would be fun to replicate some of the dumbass psychology experiments and prove where they went wrong. And also, dare I say, teach if I want to fall back on it. Here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. When you go get your psychology degree, like if you're getting a master's or a PhD, you tell them whatever they want to hear, man. Don't bring this independent mind bullshit telling single moms the reason your kid's acting up is because his dad's not around. You're not going to, no. You go in there. What? We need more government money to solve all the child psychology problems in the world? Why, that's what I'm going to write down right there. Yes, we need more money, and Marx was right. The family isn't necessary. We should kick fathers out of the house and test tube babies. There's my thesis. A+, thank you, sir. PhD, yes, sir. Then you turn code on them and you tell people what you really think. So get rid of this attitude. You're going to save the world and, oh, it'd be great to undo all those experiments. No. Just play along. And after you get your PhD, Then you go into, yeah, these studies are wrong because of this and that and that. Renegade PhD. There you go. Go get that domain name. Renegade psychologist. Overall, since I want to open up my own practice, though, my income would probably boil down to my own marketing. Well, yeah, and your own skill set. This next question you asked opens up a can of worms, but I don't mind sharing. If anyone, I believe, give me good specs. I asked him, like, what did I ask him? How much have you researched, masters? What makes you think in your condition, your life experience can help people? All right. My grandpa was one of the lawyers responsible for something. Parents were at times verbally and physically abusive until they got their own shit together. We're close now, but growing up like that pushed me away from my parents. I lived on by my own rules, got into various drugs at a young age, all of them, and eventually began distributing. Spoiler alert, I made more money at 16 than I do at 24. Yeah, I don't blame you. Maybe if you could keep the fuzz off your ass, maybe go back to doing that. Stopped going to church because I hated the hypocrisy I saw. I invented my own religion based on New Age type beliefs. So basically believed drugs were a portal to the spirit world. Hang on. Spirit world. I was an absolute loon with just enough genius to start a cult following in my friend circles. You and your brother were heavy drug users, went off the deep end, did robberies. He eventually fell off his rocker and diagnosed bipolar schizophrenic. Oh, geez. Do you think he was that the entire time, or maybe it was the drugs and the abusive parents? He decided to take his own life after that. That didn't work. You got him, went to rehab for 9 months. Rehab was a slave camp, but the discipline was good for me. Yeah, that's what it has to be. Keep you fucking druggies off your juice. Thankfully, nothing is on my record in rehab. Time to clean myself dry. A lot of questions, study the Bible, Christianity made a lot of sense. Start working out because this is eating better too. Buried all my emotions, cope with the size. I dealt with some root issues. My life changed radically. Depression, anxiety, and fish college. Oh, a wrestling scholarship. Good for you, man. Thanks, minimal lifestyle. No debt. Good. But years ago, I decided to get married. Getting married young is basically encouraging Christian circles. Wife, girl, flexible, part-time, wants to be a mom. Relationship, sex, blah, blah, blah. Berkeley. As a counselor, I guess I would want to start working with teenagers because of a completely different ball game. Feelings. Suicide, spirituality, even though personally I'm Christian, I just want people to think for themselves. Yeah. Don't shove Jesus. Don't replace one drug for another. Pardon me, what's this fucking Plan B. I do currently have a sales marketing thing, taking data analytics certification, learn accounting and business law fundamentals. That's good. There you go. If I can't do something entrepreneurial, then at least there'll be some. All right, here's what you're going to do, man. You can take your psychology classes as fast as you need to go to get your license. Still work this job. I'd still say go to the data analytics part. There's nothing wrong with that. Shit, this is unlisted. I'll have to put this up here. Could you please do a video on your opinion career Salesforce administrator? Yeah, that's fine. If you make the money, man, look, just go ahead and do it. And there's nothing wrong with being a genuine PhD therapist either. But you just have to go for 8 years of schooling. Well, 4 now that you have your undergrad. But I like the fact you're joining the National Guard. I think that's a good idea. Keep working your daytime job and go to school part-time. See where things lead. It doesn't have to be decided now, but yes, you should be generally working towards your PhD. I think it's a perfectly fine if you get your PhD. I think after you go through all this, you join a little stint in the military. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, don't give up your day job. Don't do that. Because you never know. You may have a gift of being a great salesman. You never have to go back to college again. Also, you're making your 6 figures. So that's what I would do. All right, there you go. This was not broadcast. It's just recorded, so I'll send you a link later. Toodles.